Hello, everybody. My name is Dr. Lawrence Bryant from Kennesaw State University here in Kennesaw, Georgia, where I am assistant professor. I'd like to thank Xavier University for its 16th Health Disparities Conference, and I'm honored to be a part of that. Today, we'll be talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion, implications for higher education. And so in contextualizing what we mean by DEI, or diversity, equity, and inclusion, we'll look at the definition as described by the Center for Disease Control. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, it's an appreciation and respect for the many differences and similarities in the workplace. This includes cultivating an environment of fairness, inclusion, and equity. And so I just want to take a moment to contextualize what we mean by equity versus equality. And so what we shoot for is not necessarily equality, because in giving everyone the same thing across the board, some needs may not be met. So if you look at this tree, there are two trees here, you'll see under equality, all three boxes that the individuals are standing on are the same, but everyone is not able to reach and get the apple. Whereas equity, you'll see that each box has a different height so that all three are able to actually get the apple. And so the important thing here to understand is that equity is concerned with outcomes, making sure that individuals get what it is that they need. Again, diversity, equity, inclusion, please look at the definition if you want to take a picture of this on your phones, but this is very important. So I want to take a closer look at what we mean by diversity. If you look at this wheel, and let's take a closer look here, you'll see three dimensions: internal dimensions, external dimensions, and organizational dimensions. What I want to be clear here is that diversity, equity, and inclusion is more than just about race. So if you look at, for example, the external dimension, which is the second circle, you look at what also impacts an individual, may be their income, personal habits, religion and spirituality, parental status, marital status, just to name a few. So you can see how this circle really does expand beyond just age, just race, and just gender. And so as we move to the next slide, we want to talk about institutional diversity, equity, and inclusion. And again, I work for Kennesaw State University, and I am a member of the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. And part of what we make very clear at the beginning is that the commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion really does start at the top. It starts with leadership. And it's more than just the institutional leadership, but it's also things like the board of directors. And so when we talk about DEI higher education strategies, we want to be inclusive. We want to make sure that leadership is involved, including, again, the board of directors, but also students. Their voices have to be heard, their concerns have to be heard, as well as faculty and staff. And so I just want to take a time to just go over some strategies that we use at our university, but that are also evidence-based strategies. Firstly, does the leadership have a commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion, not only in word, but also are they providing the necessary leadership? And looking at, for example, one's mission statement. Does one's mission statement reflect that of a diverse, an equitable, and an inclusive statement? You can also examine our hiring practices. Are there exit interviews? And if there are those exit interviews analyzed and assessed so that gaps can be addressed? For example, benefits. Are benefits inclusive? For example, are LGBTQ also included in those benefits? And also, is the institution addressing racism as well as microaggressions? And so I want to just end with this, because evidence shows that there are many benefits to providing a diverse and equitable environment. For example, we've got alumni that come back and that provide services for the university, that also contribute and give back to the university. And so as we are embarking forward in a culture and a climate that at times can be very, very uncomfortable, we have to learn how to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Thank you.